Yo, what's good, everybody? And thank you for tuning in to another one of my reviews. This is a new series that I'm doing called Back Down Memory Lane. And what better way to start this off than to review The Best Man, the final chapters. If this is your first time coming to my channel, welcome. If you are a returning family member, you already know what it is and what it always will be. So there are going to be some spoilers, you know what I'm saying, in this review. However, I'm not going to be going into that much of detail. It's not an overall thoughts thing, but I'm going to deal with Jordan, the journey of Harper, Jordan, and Robyn. But before I get into that, just a little bit about this limited series. What can I say about it other than it was wonderful? It was beautifully written. It was nostalgic, and it was necessary. So The Best Man premiered in 1999. The Best Man Holiday came out in 2013, and in 2022, we were blessed with the final chapters. The entire cast has aged so gracefully. They are absolutely gorgeous, breathtaking. They are what I would like to call black film royalty. Everyone, I got to just give them a shout out, from Nia, Tay, Regina, Sanaa, Morris, Harold, who am I missing? Melissa De Sosa, I love her name. And Regina Hall, if I didn't say it. But everyone in this film, I absolutely adore, and I have been fans of theirs since I was a little girl. So if you haven't seen it, like I said it earlier, there are going to be spoilers. So you've been warned. All right. So first thing first, I Papa freaks all the honeys. I'm sorry. I love Biggie. My mind worked like that. I got music on my mind. But anyway, first thing first, Harper, who is played by the sexy chocolate Tay Diggs, and Robyn, who is played by the beautiful Sanaa Lathan. They never should have got married. Let's start there, okay? They never should have gotten married, and that was evident from the first film. I believe Robyn wanted to be the woman that Harper had fashioned in his mind, but she never was. She just never could compare to this image in which Harper had created, which is why at the end of the series, they were divorced. So I'm sorry for those who were rooting for them. They got divorced, and they should have gotten divorced years prior, but we can't cry over spilled milk. It just is what it is. So let's not shy away from the fact that Harper was an asshole, a lovable asshole, but an asshole nonetheless. The deconstruction of this friend group occurred because Harper chose to expose their dirty laundry, which is what I believe created insecurities within Robyn, because Kendall, a character in Harper's book, was considered his ideal woman, which we all know is Jordan's ass. Speaking of Jordan, who is played by the timeless beauty Nia Long, one of my favorite actresses of all time. So Jordan and Harper have been friends, close friends, since college. Their journey has always been will they, won't they, should they, shouldn't they? And we all remember the unforgettable scene in the first film where they were listening to Stevie Wonder's classic song As. They were in college, they were kissing, clothes started to get unbuttoned and opened. And when that song started skipping, it caused them to stop in their tracks, and they never went any further. What I gathered from watching Jordan and Harper's interaction throughout the first couple of episodes, proved to me that maintaining their friendship was a top priority for them both. They were each other's soundboard. It was almost as if something in their lives was smudged or smeared, they had a certain way of making it clear to the other. And I've always believed the danger in Harper's and Jordan's relationship is that they weren't honest. They were not honest with each other, and Harper was not honest with his wife. Jordan and Harper are friends, genuinely. They love each other, genuinely. And I believe that Jordan and Harper are soulmates. However, not in the romantic sense of the word. Jordan is also his confidant, and she's his safe place. She's the one person where he doesn't have to perform or have an air of being Harper Stewart. He can just be Harp. And that is a dangerous position for someone to have in your life, excuse me, when you are in a committed relationship with someone else. And, watching Harper and Jordan, I was like, damn, I could have possibly been in a situation like that. We gonna get into the who was wrong, who was right, who shouldn't have been doing what they was doing. We gonna get into that a little later. But their storyline truly was like a magnifying glass on what I possibly could have endured in my life. And I'm just glad I made a decision not to do that, because it was so easy to. It's so easy to give into what you feel and what you desire. And one of the greatest things that I took away from this series is that people gonna always people. And one of the most detrimental things in life, as far as I'm concerned, is not being honest about your feelings, even if it's jacked up, even if it goes against the social norms, even if it goes against your vows, even if it goes against who you say you are as an individual, as far as your moral compass is concerned. Be honest about how you feel. Because I believe that when you're caged in denial, when you're caged in deceit, you put yourself in a position to hurt people who you should not be hurting. And we kind of see that as we go through the journey of Jordan, Harper, and Robyn. And so as we get into the thick of things, it is obvious to me that Robyn and Harper's marriage was stale. I'm talking about Doritos that bag has been open for 2 weeks and you forgot about them, and you go back and try to take a bite and you realize, damn, I gotta throw these away. That's how I viewed their relationship, because I'm just like, this is not benefiting either one of y'all right now. And so what was happening to them happens in many other relationships. And, I have friends who chose to get married and they have families and things like that, and more power to them. That's just not where I am mentally and emotionally. And that's not a decision I want to make as of right now in my life to get married. And I have my own personal viewpoints on that. But just because you're having conversations, you could even be having constant conversations, consistent conversations. It doesn't mean that you're having effective communication. And to me, that's what was going on with Robyn and Harper. They were just missing each other. Like, and sad to say, sometimes time drifts you away from the person who you thought you were going to spend the rest of your life with. Because when we look at Robyn's journey, Robyn had become more involved in the Black Lives Matter movement, the marches. That was her passion. Feeding the homeless, that was her passion. You know what I'm saying? She had a clear view and a stance on what she believed in and what she wanted to do. And Harper was not on the same wavelength as her. And honestly, Harper really didn't show genuine interest in the things that Robyn was interested in, or the things that she was invested in. I think he did the bare minimum when it came to the things that Robyn truly exhibited a passion for. When Robyn expressed that they were given the opportunity to spend the summer in Ghana, I think Harper was excited, but his excitement just wasn't where it should have been as a husband. You know what I'm saying? As someone who watched his wife grind and make certain sacrifices and do the things that she wanted to do, I think it was a subpar reaction. And so I don't even think Robyn was able to sit in this excitement for a whole 24 hours before he started talking about things that was happening with his book. He couldn't just let her have that moment. I was like, Harper, shut the hell up. It is not all about you. But in Harper's world, it is all about him. It just is. We're going to get into that in a minute. So let's deal with Robyn for a bit. So Robyn, met this man in the market who was fine. He had a certain aura about himself, and he had similar interests as her. And I believe he played a minor role in her decision to move to Ghana or to do things that pleased her. And Robyn was attracted to him. There was some lusting going on, you know what I'm saying? Inappropriate in his thoughts, I'm sure. And so Candace was with her one day while they were in the market, and Candace was able to pick up on the vibes. And as a friend, Candace, who was played by the beautiful Regina Hall, who I absolutely adore, was kind of telling her, like, you might want to chill out on that. Like, don't go too far. You better close that door because it's already cracked. And we already know what happens. Once your mind go there, your thoughts go there, it don't take long for your body to go. And you have to really practice self-control and restraint not to give in to your desires, because that's the easy thing to do. So I did appreciate that friend moment between Candace and Robyn. And so I believe his presence was needed because he kind of like fell off the face of the earth. You saw him for a couple episodes and then you didn't see him again. And at first I was like, why they did that? What happened? But then I thought about it and I was like, you know what? I just felt he was there. He was needed to highlight how unhappy Robyn was in her marriage. The joy, the happiness, and the peace that she was in search for was never going to exist with Harper. Because for one, Harper was selfish as hell. And his career always came first to everything. Everything always took a backseat to his success and to his career. So before I go any further, I touched a little bit on the friendship between Robyn and Candace. So I think one of the misconceptions about this entire story is that Jordan and Robyn were never friends. That's a fact. Jordan and Robyn were never friends. Jordan was never friends with Candace. The only women who Jordan were friends with was Mia, you know what I'm saying, who unfortunately passed away in the second film, and Shelby, which was a shock because nobody could stand Shelby's ass in the first film because she was uppity, snobby, and she just got on everybody's damn nerves. But Shelby became that chick in this series, and I love that for her, but that's another video. So now I'm not saying the things that Jordan did wasn't foul when it comes to some of her interactions with Harper. However, I just want to point out that she was not friends with Robyn at all. I do even like the fact that there was a few scenes that all the women got together. They tried to have like this book club meeting that was put on by Robyn, but they just wanted to gossip and talk about, you know what I'm saying, the men. And so I did love that for them. And then there was another scene also where, Jordan had been dating this guy, but she was holding him back. And she had a really beautiful moment with Robyn, but that's all it was. It was, Candace and Robyn married into the friend group. And unfortunately, that's what happens sometimes. I think you can have a group of friends who are all married. Let's say you have 4 men who are married. That doesn't mean that their wives are going to be friends or their wives are going to be close just because they're close. I think that there was a mutual concern they had for each other, but to say they were friends, I think they genuinely liked each other, but they never progressed beyond the fact that, these chicks just married my homeboys. I don't really rock with them like that. But to me, that was an overall feeling that I got when it came to the women on the show other than Jordan and Shelby. So getting back to the main event. So Harper's book, Unfinished Business, was turned into a film. So after the premiere, there was an after party. And the only person who showed up was, ding, 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 you guessed it, Jordan Armstrong. So they are enjoying each other's company. They are talking. They have a late night, early morning stroll while reading the reviews of his films. Now, the critics are trashing this film. I mean, they going in. However, there's Jordan there to encourage and uplift Harper. And of course, it was difficult for him to read. They got in his ass to read what the critics were saying about his film. But Jordan was there to reinforce that the audience loved the film. You ain't got to give a damn what the critics saying. The audience, the people who are genuinely going to support you, they loved it. You need to focus on that. Own it, that you made a great film. It's not going to appease everyone, but you did that shit. Like, she was really like his cheerleader. She truly was. So they go on the carousel ride and they're just cussing out the people who were saying crazy things about his film. It's honestly something that I would do with one of my friends. Like, we're not going to let these people drag you down. This is your night. Own that. You did it. Can't nobody ever take that from you. That would have been the energy that I was on. So now we're about to get to this nitty gritty stuff. All right. So Jordan and Harper go to Brooklyn. And what's in Brooklyn? Jordan's apartment. And so it looked like it could have been a penthouse because it looked absolutely amazing. So then there's a character that shows up that is constant and consistent with Jordan and Harper. And it's called their past. They can't escape it regardless of what they do. So Jordan's ass brings out this box that had 2 rubber band balls inside that they made in college. One was called College Dreams. The other was called Little Secrets. Inside of Harper's ball, his piece of paper read, "Win the Pulitzer Prize and win the ultimate prize." Now, the ultimate prize is Jordan. The ultimate prize has always been Jordan, and it will always be Jordan. Her paper read, "Marry someone who gets you like Dwayne Wayne gets Whitley Gilbert." And "get you" was underlined 3 times. And who is the one person who gets Jordan Armstrong better than anyone else on the earth? Ding, ding, ding. You guessed it. Harper Stewart. I said, I don't know how to feel. I was very conflicted. All right. So I'm going to get into what I was conflicted about. So in this moment, it's like things shift and they get real serious. And Jordan is sitting on her couch, like on the back of her couch, and Harper approaches her. And we see flashbacks of the first film. Then we see of them in their kissing moments, okay? And the music has shifted. And I said, why am I smiling? Y'all, I'm smiling. Like, I'm happy. You know what I'm saying? And then he goes in to kiss her. And then I remember, I'm like, no. He's married. Alicia, he married. You ain't supposed to be happy that this is happening. What the hell is going on? So I'm conflicted right now because I'm like, yeah, this is trash. This is toxic. He's married. But and it was so bad because, as I stated earlier, there's a guy, and I think his name is Demetrius. And Demetrius is someone that Jordan dated in college. It was like the love, like she truly loved his man, like her first real love. He broke her heart. He cheated on her. And he comes back into the picture because he wants to get that old thing back. And she is very hesitant with him. She doesn't allow herself to go all the way with him in the sense of an emotional connection. And I believe it because it has something to do with Harper. I believe that Jordan secretly desired Harper in a way that she hadn't yet been able to have him, and vice versa. I feel he felt the same way as well. And so even though I know Harper is married, I'm like, but this is the woman that you should have been with from the beginning. I honestly feel that Jordan was like, it just should have always been her. And then I thought about the first movie, and I got to put some blame on Robyn as well, because Robyn knew the reason why Harper didn't want her to come, because he wanted a few days so that he could fool around, so he could have sex with Jordan, basically, so he can make that college dream come true, basically. And I'm like, you knew this, and it was red flags from the first film. When Harper got on his knee and proposed to Robyn at Lance and Mia's reception, I said, what the hell is this? If anybody, I ain't one of them women. You ain't gonna propose to nobody on my day. Wait till tomorrow. I just felt that was such a red flag to me. Like, you were literally about to have sex with Jordan a few hours before you propose to this woman. And the fact that Robyn said yes, and I always felt like Robyn knew Jordan was the one. And not that Robyn played second fiddle, but she just, I don't know. I feel like, okay, let's get to this part. So as I stated earlier, how at the end of the series, Harper and Robyn were divorced. So as they're going through their divorce proceedings, now I ain't gonna lie, I felt she was foul as hell for this. She brought up the fact that she was moving indefinitely to Ghana and she was taking their daughter with her. I said, now wait the hell a minute. Like, this wasn't something that she talked to him about. It wasn't something that she talked to him about initially. She sprung this shit up in the midst of their mediation. So I definitely understood why Harper was pissed off, why he was upset, why he wasn't having it. I get it. I'm just like, no. I thought that was a low blow. And I was kind of shocked that she did that, because it just didn't seem a part of her character makeup. And so I'm like, I don't know about this, Robyn. I really don't know about this. I understand that you have to be happy. I understand that you have to put yourself first. And sadly, you guys have a child, so you have to maneuver in a certain way. You're not talking about, moving a couple of hours away. You're talking about uprooting your daughter and moving to another continent. I understand why she wanted to do it, but just the way that it was the manner in which she did it to me. It was, I didn't like that. So with Harper, I felt like when it comes to his writing, Harper would do anything to become a better writer and to push himself. I believe when it comes to his friends, he will be there for them no matter what. I feel like when it comes to Jordan, whatever he needs to do to make her happy as a friend, I believe he will go above and beyond. I believe he would invest the time, effort, and energy. He would do the work. Unfortunately, when it came to Robyn, I don't think he would have done the same. Harper would not have executed his time, effort, and energy with his wife in the same way he would have done with Jordan. And that is a big red flag. And I think sometimes too, unfortunately, as women, we kind of live in a society that puts you in a position where like your worth has something to do with the type of man that you have or the fact that you're married, which means absolutely nothing. And I like the fact that Jordan always shows herself. She always shows herself. Now, do I believe that Jordan was wrong when it came to her kissing Harper? Absolutely. Absolutely. Lines were blurred. Lines were true. And look how comfortable she felt. This man is married. You know his wife. And you sat there and let him unzip your jacket where your bra and breasts were exposed. You kissing him as if you were gonna allow yourself to have sex with him. And I'm just like, Alicia, why are you liking this? I'm like, this should not be happening. But I do like it because it's real. And these are things that people go through. And just, I'm gonna pause right there and, just give a little personal story with me as to why I said this could have been my life in a sense. And so I have two friends that two male friends that I have been friends with since I was a child. Like, I'm talking about 5th grade, the first one. And I remember when he got married. We were young. We were like in our early 20s. And I will say that, we called ourselves like being boyfriend and girlfriend when we were younger. But, nothing big happened. And so once he got married, I'm like, okay, I have to learn how to maneuver this friendship now that he's married. And I remember one moment in particular, we were on the phone. And I didn't even realize what time it was. But it was like 11:30, 12 o'clock, you know what I'm saying? A PM, midnight time. And then it dawned on me, I'm like, boy is married. I said, where is it? So, said this, where's your wife? And he was like, oh, she's upstairs. I said, where are you? And he was like, oh, I'm downstairs. And I said, that for me was a red flag. Like, she's upstairs, you're downstairs. I said, does she know that you're talking to me? And he said, no. Why? And I said, okay, we'll talk tomorrow. And he was like, wait, like, what's going on? And I said, you're married. And I don't want your wife to feel any type of way about me or feel like I'm disrespecting y'all marriage in any way, because I know for me as a person, that is something that I never wanted to do. I never wanted to be that woman to cause issues in a marriage. I never wanted to even present a picture that there's a possibility I want your husband. I never wanted to do that. So he was mad at me for a while. He didn't understand. And I think it took him a minute to understand where I was coming from. But I was very adamant about that, because this guy was truly my best friend. And I never wanted to blur the lines when it came to him. Now, another person, things were a little different. I was more emotionally invested and connected to this one. And he got married, and it was hurtful. When my best friend got married, I was happy for him. Like, I didn't care, good. But this one, I was hurt that he got married, because in my mind, I had already psyched myself up to believe that this was my husband. And now, married somebody else. And I have to learn how to maneuver this friendship now, knowing that I have feelings for you, unresolved feelings for you, and now you married. That don't mean my feelings have gone away, but I do want to honor and respect your marriage. And I remember one time he sent me a message, and the message was very inappropriate. And so I was faced with the idea or the decision to say, what do I do with this? We can have a private conversation. Wife may not never know, but I can't deal with that. I can't deal with stuff like that. So I responded to him in a way that was like, look, this type of conversation you and I can't have, because something is bound to happen if we keep this up. And one thing I do love about myself is that I don't lie about my feelings. Even if my feelings are quote unquote wrong, or even if my feelings, makes my moral compass questionable, I am honest about how I feel in every moment. Because there was a time in my life where I would just say the right things, for the sake of just, I don't want people to know certain things. But then it's like, no, how do I really feel about this? How do I really feel about him? How do I really feel about this situation? And that's why with with Jordan and Harper, I think their situation became so dangerous is because they were not honest. They were kind of like with the rubber band balls. They were hemming and hawing around this 25 plus year situation, and they just were not honest with each other. But ultimately, Robyn moved to Ghana, and Harper was able to fulfill. He won the Pulitzer Prize and all that stuff like that. So the last scene we see with Jordan and Harper, their infamous walk, they're walking. And, so she asked him what's next. And he was like, I think, I'm thinking about moving to Brooklyn. And she was like, Brooklyn ain't what it used to be. It's very expensive. And so he looked at her and he was like, I think it could be worth it. Still, not just putting it all out there. And she understood. She read between the lines. They complimented each other. They were like the same person. So she knew that he was referring to her. And she let him know that she could not be his soft place to land after this situation with Robyn. And it was going to take some time for him to get over it. And it was nothing that she could do or any other woman. It's something that it's the work that Harper had to do within himself. And so he let her know that he'll always need her. And she let him know that she will always be there for him as a friend. And if fate will have it, and if fate brings them back together or brings them together, then so be it. And then she kissed him and told him that she loved him, and he told her that he loved her. And I said, what's going on? What is going on? I really would love to see a continual story of Jordan and Harper, because I believe it's so much more there. And just like the title of his book, Unfinished Business, Jordan and Harper have unfinished business. And then when I thought about it, Jordan is the catalyst to all of his writing success. Unfinished Business was based on the fact that he still had unfinished business with her. The film was based on the situation as well. He was writing a sequel that was only going to highlight the relationship and the dynamic of Kendall and Jackson, which is Jordan and Harper, and so it was such a, man, like I enjoyed it so much because I just felt like the writing was beautiful. The writing was messy at times with certain people's situation, especially with Jordan and Harper, with this, I love you, but where do we go? And I think with Robyn, it was easy for Harper to manipulate Robyn. You know what I'm saying? Because he could hover his success over her head. With Jordan, he couldn't do that because Jordan was just as successful, if not more successful. Like, yeah, you writing books and you may be on the best sellers, but baby girl is running networks. You know what I'm saying? So it was messy, child. Jordan and Harper was messy, but I love them. You know what I'm saying? I love them. I don't look at Jordan no differently. I just think that she got caught up in the moment. And I remember I was in church a long time ago, but this pastor said something that has stuck with me for more than 10 years. And he said, what do you do when the iniquity of your heart meets opportunity? Meaning, you may be dealing with something that is inappropriate or that may be damaging to someone else, but you have an opportunity to act on it. You have an opportunity to be fulfilled. You have an opportunity to be pleasured. Are you going to do it? What are you going to do? And I think about that a lot when I'm making certain decisions, because making the wrong decision is so easy. Having sex is easy. You know what I'm saying? Doing something that is inappropriate is easy, but doing the right thing, or what we deem as right, or what you may deem as right in your own personal life, sometimes that is very difficult because it goes against everything your body and your mind is telling you to do. And I think with with Jordan and Harper, they didn't have that. They just did what the hell they did. It wasn't now I'm married, I can't do that. That was never brought up in their conversation. And that's what it was with Harper and Jordan and Robyn. I enjoyed it. As messy as it was, as toxic as it was, I think Jordan is my favorite. And maybe that says something about me, but I'm okay with it. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this, and I will talk about the other characters a little later in some different in some other videos, some later videos. But thank you guys for listening, and until next time, I will holler at y'all later, and y'all be safe out there.